Today, the laws of astrophysics you trusted regarding wandering objects in the solar system are officially suspended. Don't blink, because the latest data from the Hubble Space Telescope, captured on two fateful dates, December 12th and 27th, 2025, has just flipped the entire board. We are no longer talking about a dirty snowball melting under the sun. Professor Avi Loeb has just released a shattering analysis. 3I Atlas is wobbling. And the way it is wobbling looks nothing like any natural celestial body we have ever recorded in human history. Let me explain why the word wobbling is more terrifying than a collision. A standard comet, when heated, vents gas in all directions, creating a chaotic tail and random thrust. But Hubble didn't see that. Hubble saw a periodic motion, a mechanical vibration, precise as clockwork. The jets observed in the December 12 data are not the random sublimation of evaporating matter. No. They act like vernier thrusters on a spacecraft, generating torque to stabilize or alter the axis of rotation. Let that sink in. A dead rock drifting in the cosmos does not rhythmically adjust its own axis like that. Look deeper into the December 27 data. The object's brightness is shifting with an amplitude that traditional comet models are completely helpless to explain. If this were a dead rock, it should be spinning smoothly due to inertia or tumbling chaotically from a collision. But 3I Atlas is oscillating like a giant gyroscope trying to maintain balance against an invisible force. Avi Loeb calls them wobbling jets. In my investigative language, that is called active course correction. We are witnessing an object with a shifting center of gravity, or worse, an object deliberately altering its surface area exposed to the solar wind. We tried to label it a comet out of fear. We wanted it to be ice, to be dust, to be something inanimate so we could sleep at night. But ice doesn't know how to calculate angular momentum. Dust doesn't know how to eject symmetrical streams of matter to cancel out excess rotation. What Hubble captured is evidence of a rigid, stress-bearing structure, and possibly, just possibly, it possesses a non-Newtonian propulsion system. This is the final piece of this dark picture. When you eliminate the impossible, that this is not a comet, not an asteroid, not human space junk, then whatever remains, however insane, must be the truth. 3I Atlas is not drifting, it is gliding. It is controlling its tilt to optimize what? Solar energy absorption? Or a radar sweep of the Earth's surface? That oscillation is the heartbeat of a machine, not the dying breath of a rock. The case file has changed from natural phenomenon to technological artifact. Let's reopen the orbital file and look straight at the number mainstream astronomy is deliberately ignoring: non-gravitational acceleration. In basic physics, an object is only acted upon by two things: gravity from the sun and planets, or thrust from an engine. But 3I Atlas is violating this rule blatantly. Hubble data shows its trajectory is being bent away from the standard Keplerian curve, but not by gravity. If this were a comet, that thrust would come from sublimating ice, escaping gas acting like a natural rocket. But here is the fatal contradiction. To generate enough thrust to deviate the orbit as much as we are seeing, 3I Atlas would have to be venting tons of water and dust every second. Yet Hubble, with the sharpest eye in humanity, finds no corresponding massive dust cloud, no brilliant coma, no tail stretching millions of kilometers. So what is pushing it? Let's go back to the wobbling. A natural object losing mass, venting gas, changes its rotation axis chaotically. It tumbles. But the data from December 12 and 27 shows an extremely stable pattern of precession. Its oscillation cycle repeats with millisecond precision. In aerospace engineering, we call this spin stabilization. This is the technique NASA uses to keep satellites from flipping over in space. A random space rock does not know how to stabilize its own axis to maintain a heading, unless its internal structure is completely different. the most chilling hypothesis the numbers are pointing to. 3I Atlas is hollow, or at least its mass is distributed in an outer shell, like a tube or a shield, not a solid block of rock. Only a thin shell structure reacts to solar radiation pressure in a way that creates this rhythmic wobble without ejecting massive amounts of matter. The jets, Loeb mentions, might not be sublimating gas, but directed light reflection. If the surface of this object has non-uniform reflectivity, one dark side, one bright side, then every time it spins, light pressure kicks it, creating the wobble Hubble recorded. That isn't melting. That is aerodynamics in a vacuum. And this is the killing blow for the natural hypothesis, the conservation of rotation. Typically, when a comet vents gas, it spins up or slows down due to torque. 3I Atlas is different. It is maintaining its angular momentum stubbornly, despite plunging closer to the Sun. It's as if there is an internal gyroscope system canceling out external torques. We are not looking at a dying lump of ice. We are looking at a protective hull, a technological shield surfing the solar wind, and that wobble is simply how it adjusts its angle of attack to receive energy, or to aim. The final piece of this dark puzzle lies in the light curve that Hubble recorded alongside this wobbling phenomenon. Picture this. If 3I Atlas were a potato-shaped rock or a distorted block of ice, its brightness as it rotates would change gently, perhaps doubling or tripling. That is the standard of nature. But the December 27 data shows a much more violent variation. The object's brightness drops to near invisibility, then suddenly explodes with brilliance with a contrast ratio of up to 10:1. In optical physics, only one geometric shape creates this extreme on-off effect, an object that is extremely thin and flat. When its edge points toward Earth, it vanishes into the darkness. When its flat surface catches the sunlight, it reflects like a giant mirror. The wobble Avi Loeb describes is not the vibration of a rock. It is the flutter of a membrane, like a falling leaf flipping over and over in the wind. But there is no wind here, only photon pressure from the sun. Combine it all. A flat, thin object, experiencing non-gravitational acceleration without venting gas, and oscillating rhythmically to stay stable. Nature does not build flying mirrors. Nature does not manufacture solar sails. If this is a rock, it is the strangest rock in the 13.8 billion year history of the universe. But if it's not, then we are looking at a piece of technological debris, a defunct probe, or a ship attempting to recalibrate its course after a long interstellar journey. The silence of the cosmos has just been broken, not by a radio signal, but by a dance of light and gravity. Drop your take in the comments. And to follow this object as it evolves, make sure you're subscribed. We're not done yet.